Salutations, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. V back with another casted game of Age of Empires 3, and we are here with a China mirror, which I hold dear, but I do fear the end is near, because I'm out of rhymes. I'm excited. I don't get a lot of mirrors on the channel, and I certainly don't get a lot of high elo China, which this game certainly is. Now, I know that's kind of controversial in recent times. There's a lot of talk about what's high elo, what's low elo, what's mid elo. Is anybody as good as me? But honestly, everybody's going to have a different opinion depending on where they are, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because, as we all know, elo is sort of a deceptive stat to begin with. So let's dive right into our Civ intros. In the north of the map, playing in the color red as China, we got Kevin. And if you know anything about Kevin, if you've seen his performance in the tournaments, you know that this guy can hang with the best of the best. He is not to be underestimated. His deck has been chosen, but he's not. Oh, no, he has not picked one yet. Kevin, you're teasing me. Come on, baby. Let me see it. Let me see that deck. Oh, Kevin, don't. Oh, there he is. He's playing with my heart there. It looks like he's got a water deck, though he has no water upgrades. Okay, so no warships in H2, no schooners equivalent, no water eco cards. It really only has the ship in H3, which I am not going to try to pronounce. So more of a prevention here, though he does have the hand mortars, though I will recall that in the recent patch, these mortars are much less effective against ships, though I could be wrong about that. He's going to pick up an early trading post. Meanwhile, let's look at his opponent in the south of the map, in the color blue, also playing as China. We got breaking_me, which is someone I am not familiar with. Could be a Smurf account. And let's take a look at his deck. Oh, much more heavy on the water eco, though he doesn't have the H3 warship. Okay, that's weird. I feel like that's kind of a miss, because if Kevin gets to H3 and ships that, that's going to be hard to counter with the two war junks. Though he does have East Indiamen, which is like the China equivalent of the European schooners card. It does send a dock, though I think the discount on fishing boats is not as good as the European discount. It has fish markets as well, sending T-Export as his first card, and so is Kevin. And Kevin going to be keeping that extra card for H2, I am assuming. He does have potential to be more aggressive since he's not going to be investing in the water eco, which on this map, water is certainly very viable. Look at all those delicious fish and all of these juicy whales. Plenty of oil, plenty of fat, plenty of fun times ahead. But let's see. Wonder going down for breaking_me, and that is going to be the porcelain tower. Now, I am very newbie when it comes to what wonders should be placed when, but I do know that the porcelain tower is a resource generator, so it can be set to food, wood, coin, and yes, I am just reading the description. But I mean, it's going to be more of a long-term payoff, right? That's going to have no immediate reward for breaking_me. Meanwhile, let's see what Kevin went with. Going with the Summer Palace, I can tell. Look at this juicy foundation, all right? Is there any wonder that has this big of a foundation? Maybe the Tashuga Shrine? Maybe the Agra Fort? Which foundation? Let me know in the comments. If you're an Asian Dynasties player, which foundation is the fattest of all? Very important question. But this is going to have a little bit more of a short-term effect, right? Because it's going to send those resources. I think it's 500 food. Yeah, I think it's 500 food right away. And it is also going to slowly spawn those banner armies. So we'll have to see. Some short-term gain over some long-term investment. But players going up with both of their different wonders. Consulate going down for both as well. Though Kevin did have time to squeeze in the market. Meanwhile, me investing in the dock, starting to get out those fishing boats or fishing rafts. I mean, come on. Is this really a boat? Like, does that really count as a boat? Because it looks to me like you just took 4 sticks and nailed them together and put a basket on top. And are those birds trained? Wait a minute. Are those birds fetching fish for the fishermen? Does every fisherman get his own stash of birds once he starts his career? These questions and more are on the tip of my tongue. But let's see what Kevin's starting with. He is getting the Blockhouse Wagon and sending 700 wood as his first card. Remember, he does have those shipments ready to go right away in Age 2. He also has another one. Let's see what he goes with here. 700 wood about to arrive, followed by 7 Step Riders. So we're going to be seeing some sort of pressure, though the Blockhouse is defensive, so this looks more like a semi-FF build to me. He's currently on 18 Vils compared to me's 20 with the extra water economy, but he does have to invest. He had to make the dock. He had to send East Indiamen. So his other shipments like the 700 wood are going to be delayed. And he actually started with 9 Quang pikemen. Very interesting choice. I don't know how common that is. China players, please let me know. Are there any builds that open with 9 pike? I mean, if you feel like you're getting rushed, but now that these Chuko News are out, they're going to feel pretty impotent. Now can use the Step Riders to engage, and these pikemen, they are Chinese units, so they are built of paper. Or, well, yeah, no, the Chinese invented paper, right? The Egyptians made papyrus, and the Chinese made paper. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below, but be nice about it, please. 7 Step Riders coming out for breaking_me as well. And yeah, I mean, that 9 pikeman shipment, that just didn't feel good. I don't know. I'm even using my hands here. I'm getting animated. Am I wrong about that? I mean, if he gets all of these Step Riders bunched up, he has 7 Step Riders of his own. The armies are looking fairly equal. Bunch of disciples coming out, which, by the way, these guys now take 14 seconds, not 7 seconds to train. So they aren't quite as immediately available as they used to be. Not quite as spammable, but 8 Chuko Nu coming out from Kevin. And that is going to definitely tip the fight in his favor. And yeah, he's just continuing to harass. And now here comes the pursuit. The Quang pikemen trying to get engaged, but nice pullback from Kevin each time. And now the disciples are going to be able to soak up damage here. That is what they were born and bred for. And these Chuko News are targeting the pikemen. And as soon as those last pikemen go down, it is going to be heavily in favor of Kevin. And this push seems really good. And this water economy has not had sufficient time to pay off yet. He is pumping out the boats, but is he going to lose his land base before they can really reward him? And we'll have to see. The Step Riders getting involved now. Maybe can try to split some off and get on the Chuko News, but the army of red here is just so overwhelming. The China Snowball has begun. It has overtaken the blue Snowball, and it is a red wave coming into the blue base, and now villagers might even go down here. Currently 22 for Kevin and 31 for breaking_me. The one good thing here is that a lot of his economy is on the water, which currently Kevin cannot touch because he does not have any boats in Age 2. But I don't think Kevin is really even focused on the water. I think this early pressure is to kind of negate the long-term effect of the eco on water, because he's like, okay, whatever, I'll just destroy your town center before your fishing boats can do anything. And with the Quang pikemen, this is actually going to be able to tear down the War Academy, and things are looking kind of dicey for breaking_me. What is he sending now? Ooh, he's hiring 10 Rattan Shields, which, I mean, they're good against skirmishers, good against archers, but there are some Quang pikemen mixed in. Actually, these guys might do well. They are right under the town center, so maybe he can snare the Red Army here. They're not going to quite arrive in time to be ideal, but out they come along with the sentries, and that was an excellent pop by breaking_me. And this is actually going to be a really good fight. All of these units are bunched up. They're caught against the porcelain tower, and the pikemen that are remaining are getting picked off by town center fire. But these Rattan Shields, I mean, they're good, but they're not that good. I mean, these guys are not Urami, right? They're not just some big game swaying unit, but it is going to buy him some time. It is going to seriously dent Red's numbers, and it is going to take out all of his siege potential, right? These Chuko News are not going to be able to take down these buildings as effectively as the Quang pikemen and even the Step Riders. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was a worthwhile trade, because he did spend, how much did that cost? What is that, 500 coin? I don't know. It doesn't say it on the card. Please let me know in the comments. I'm relying on the comments so hard today, but please help me out. Sending a Chuko Nu, which doesn't feel great. I mean, I guess he needs to send something. There's not really a lot else he could send. Maybe 2 flamethrowers? I don't know. More Step Riders and more Chuko Nu coming from Kevin, and Kevin is just being relentless. And I wonder, does he see the water? No, he's not scouted yet, but he's probably seen breaking_me's deck, and he probably knows that there's some sort of sea shenanigans going on. Another shipment from Kevin coming in. He is running out of H2 stuff. Could send standard army, could send diplomatic intrigue, could send 600 wood if he wants to keep up Chuko Nu and Pike production. But instead, I think he's going to go to H3, and he's going to go with the Porcelain Tower. So saving that for H3, you'll have to let me know. China players, okay? Is Summer Palace into Porcelain Tower better? Or is what breaking_me doing better, where he just immediately goes for a Porcelain Tower? Speaking of _me, he is also macroing for an H3. But I don't know. It still feels like he's in a precarious position. He currently has a market, a village. He did rebuild his war academy. His water eco is pretty strong here. 6 fishing boats plus another 6. Yeah, I mean, he's got 12 fishing boats, so not bad. Not bad. Certainly not out of the game yet, and the scores definitely show it. Only about a 1,500 point difference in terms of score, and it is in favor of Kevin, but I don't know. Once he reaches age 3, I feel like that's going to jump up even more, and he's just going to have such an advantage in terms of getting out these powerful shipments, right? 10 arquebusier, 10 Changdao, 5 meteor hammers. He's got the hand mortars. He's even got the Manchu, and he could send the warship as well. It's only 200 coin, and there is currently no defense for breaking me's economy here on the water. He is starting to wall up. I like this play. Starting to kind of build a bit of a shell, a Chinese turtle shell. And he even has the Young Guard, which is something. And what is he sending as his first card? Kevin is going to send the 5 meteor hammers. And I could be convinced that he is going for a heavy cav switch. I love the heavy cav switch. It's always so juicy when it pays off. And against Young Guard and Chuko Nu and a flamethrower, might turn out to be pretty good. And now we got the Confucian Academy coming out, which is going to produce flying crows, and it's also going to ship the arquebusier. Man, it's such like a duel of wonders here, and I can't tell which is better. I really feel like Kevin's just has a nicer tempo to it, just because you can get out those early units, and especially in a mirror matchup, you can get that early pressure. But this, oh my God, this batch of cab that's barreling towards breaking space is very scary. These Chuko Nu and these Step Riders are not upgraded yet, but the sheer mass and the army of breaking is not suited to this fight. He has almost no anti-cav. And I mean, the Young Guard, they're just not going to be able to do enough. These couple of Keshiks are just going to get bowled over. More coming out now, but still not enough. And there's just not a lot of room on this map to hide. His own infrastructure is going to catch him, and the flamethrower immediately going to be sent down. And these Chuko Nu's just doing so much nice damage in the back. And this is going to be an absolute slaughter for blue. The arquebusier from the Confucian Academy coming out, and the Flying Crow not even close to spawning. And even if it did, it would get obliterated immediately. And man, Kevin is putting on an aggressive China clinic. And this is what I love about DE China. They feel so much more versatile than they used to be, right? Like China used to be such a one-trick pony. They were FF into just sending cards, right? But now they've got so many more options. They can rush H2, they can boom, and now he's even got redcoats on the way. And this feels like a GG. What can Breaking Me send? The answer is he's going to send Beiyang Army, which is going to send Step Riders and Keshiks. I mean, they are disciplined, so that's, cool. Ooh, he's going to use them behind the wall here. I like that micro. But, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Look at this. Look at Kevin's military here. That's so many units. 55 units currently against Breaking's, what, 16? And I mean, he's not even bothering attacking the army at this point. He's just attacking the town center, and that's the game. What a fun China mirror. I think I gotta cast more mirrors, okay? Everybody thinks mirrors are boring, but I kind of like them because I like seeing, the dichotomy, right? I like seeing what people go for early on, what wonder, what age-up politician, because it really shows their hand on what they're going to do. And we could clearly see Kevin was gunning for an aggressive play into more of an economic fallback, right? So he immediately goes with the Summer Palace, gets out early aggression, goes with the 7-step riders, then the 8 Chukonu. And did he end up sending the pikes as well? Yeah, he did have the pikemen as well. And then he went into the porcelain tower once he felt safe, once he had the tempo, whereas Breaking went for the eco right away, and he kind of paid for it, right? He got too greedy. He went for the porcelain tower on top of the water eco, and it just didn't have enough time to pay off. Maybe if he hadn't taken such a bad loss in that H2 fight, he would have had time to rebuild, get into H3 faster, and maybe keep up with Kevin's tempo, but it just didn't happen. Let's take a look at this in more detail, though, guys. Follow me to the post game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in the post game. Not a lot to say about the economic resources. Kevin was not under pressure, so he did outperform Breaking, who was under pressure. When we look at the military counts, pretty even in terms of units made, but in terms of units lost, Kevin getting a big advantage, 68 to 100. Also took out 4 buildings. I think one of those was that early war academy, which did set Breaking on the back foot. And I think that was the main theme of this game, right? Every time Kevin had the chance, he just pressured and pressured and pressured and pressured. And because Breaking was going for such an economic build, he was never able to recover and stabilize. I mean, look at this first fight. 31 versus 22 ends with Kevin actually at a larger number, 39 versus just the 2 of Breaking, and that was never recovered because by the time he stabilized, he had that nice pop of Rat and Shields. He kind of got Kevin out of his base. Then he had to invest in H3, and that took 2,200 resources, and he built up a military, but I mean, 28 versus 46 in a China mirror, that's just not going to do it. And here's really the key, I think. This is what sealed the fate for Breaking, right? This doesn't look like a huge difference, only about 30 seconds between the 2 age-ups, but in a China mirror where China's bulk power is in H3, that progression is a big deal. And Kevin was just able to climb and climb faster. He was able to climb more efficiently, and I really do think it was because of that early aggression and that wonder choice going with the Summer Palace instead of the Porcelain Tower. But let me know, guys. I'm not a China expert, so if I'm wrong, just point it out in the comments, and I'd be happy to learn. But I'll be back with another game in a couple days. Until then, have a great day. Have a great life. See you later.